And another question I have is, how come I only see the moms buying school supplies and school clothes? Do dads even do that?
Yeah, of course we do. We just don't get on social media to brag about it for the performative song and dance that a lot of other people do. But even if we did, would it matter? Would seeing a bunch of dads brag on social media about all the things they got for their children make you all any happier with how dads show up in relationships? Probably not. The commentary would then probably be about how this is the bare minimum. So, really, what's the point? And therein kind of lies the rub of being a dad, I've realized. If you brag about the things you do for your children, you're doing it for the wrong reasons, and this is the bare minimum. But if you say nothing at all, people assume you do nothing, because this is the type of commentary that surrounds it without dad voices. I remember being in a wellness check for my 2-year-old daughter, and we were going over all the stuff that we were supposed to be doing developmentally. I was answering all the questions that the nurse was asking. And at the end of that conversation, after me telling the nurse of all the things that I've done with my daughter, with my wife sitting right next to me, the nurse goes, "This is great. Mom is doing such a good job teaching you." Even when you're a present dad, people still assume you don't do shit. And again, I get why that is. I'm not mad about it. There's been a lot of shitty fathers in the past. But the way you all talk about dads and fathers lets me know that a lot of you are just bitter about how you all's relationships turned out. Like, you're not having real conversations about fatherhood. You're just like, haha, gotcha, you don't get school supplies, as if that's some indicator of the relationship with the dad and the child. It's funny, people who talk like this will speak out of both sides of their neck. They'll be like, money and getting things is not what matters, except for when you're not doing it. See how that works? If you don't do it, you're a deadbeat. But if you do it, you're doing the bare minimum. I really think that social media has kind of rotted people's brains into thinking that performative acts are equal to being a parent. And this is just a small example of that. Because notice, this post is not about my child has school supplies. This post is about who got them. See, this is about credit, not about your kid. And that's the crazy part about social media. Like, it's more about me being the star than it is about the child who I got the supplies for. And that sounds a little crazy to me. But I get it. Dunk on dudes, very funny. Moms do all the work. Follow, heart, share. Everyone's happy.
And this is why I said before that when it deals with social media, you have a lot of women out here when it is that they talk about men that way. A lot of them hate their fathers. And that's cool. That's great. You know, maybe you had a, bad interaction. Maybe he just wasn't there. Whatnot. Cool. Got it. Go seek some therapy. Go have conversations with that man so that you can finally be at peace and you can drop all of this weight, because this is 1000% unhealthy. There's a lot of times that I've had to cover videos and I've had to defend black fathers directly out here because you had a woman deciding that, oh, I see this picture of this black father, let me sit up there and say something negative, and then you see fields of other women deciding to pile on and say some other type of stuff negatively about this dude, trying to say how he's not a father, he's probably this and everything negative, but he's present in his daughter's life. It's crazy how the exact same father had to come out and defend himself on social media against women of which he don't even know. He ain't never date these women. He ain't never done nothing to these women. He ain't never seen these women before a day in his life. But he had to come on here and defend himself because groupings of women decided that, oh no, all men ain't good, all men ain't fathers. Even if the fathers are present, there's still something wrong because they're not even present fathers even when they are there, and all this other type of stuff. Men are just bad parents in general. Men are just never. I'm like, brother, oh my God, go see therapy. Like, it's crazy to me how the exact same people who always want to tell men to go seek and go talk to a therapist are the exact same ones who don't do it. It's crazy to me. And it's a lot of women out here that always tell men, go get therapy. When's the last time that you seen a therapist? When's the last time that you scheduled? When's the last time that you actually spent time in a chair and allowed somebody to assess where you are mentally when it deals with a lot of these topics and these subjects? More than likely nowhere. More than likely where you are is that you'll go out with your girls, and then when you're with your girls, you want to have these conversations. Those are your therapists. That's some crazy work. All of y'all are jacked, but you guys have enough to be a therapist for one another when you still don't even have the proper things going right directly in your lives when it deals with the right types of guys. So again, going back to why it is that you're able to sit up there and speak the way that you do when it deals with men is because number one, choices, and number one, because of the main number one life experience that you more than likely had or did not have. And a lot of women out here sit up there and say that they don't know their father. So I'm guessing that's the main life experience. You didn't know your father, so you hate him because he wasn't there for one reason or another, and because some other things more than likely happened because, you know, he wasn't there. He's also to blame directly for that too. And as this man stated before, it's crazy how women can come directly online and try to gloat about, oh, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, I'm a single parent, this is what I do, and da 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 da, and I do it without a man, I do it without the father, I do it all on my own. That's great. You're an adult. You're taking care of responsibilities. That's very awesome directly for you. Now, on the other hand, just like he stated, just imagine if men went online who are single fathers, who are doing everything by themselves. Do you think that women would be online cheering? No. Do you think anybody would be online cheering for him? No. Because people are like, you're a man, deal with it. You made this situation, so you deal with fixing and managing and doing what it is that you need to sit up there and do. You're a man at the end of the day. You don't get brownie points. You don't get no cookie. You don't get a congratulations. You don't get a trophy. You're not getting any donations or anything from that, because this is your job. So again, as I stated before, if a man is simply doing the job of which he created, right, no matter what the circumstances are, doesn't matter if the person passed away, if they're divorced, if they left, if the situation went awry, or however it basically works, but he's sitting up there doing it, he's not going to get anything for it, right, which is cool. Then on the same angle, shouldn't that be the exact same way for the women out here? Like, it's crazy to make this into a type of like competition where it's like, hey, I'm a woman, I'm a mom, and I'm sitting up there buying my kids school supplies. Why is it that I never see men online buying their kids school supplies? That's because men are out there just doing. Men are just out there doing. Like, it's crazy to get critiqued as a man when you're out there letting people know what it is that you're doing. You're taking L's. When you're out there not letting people know what it is you're doing, you're still taking L's. And this is why I sat up there and told people before, it don't matter what you do as a man. You're going to be taking L's. It don't matter if you want to or not. That's just the way that the world is. That is just the way that the world is. And given the example that he stated when it dealt with his child, and he was at the doctor's office going over every single thing and whatnot, or whatever. And of course the mom was there. And the nurse turned around and sat up there and said, you know, congratulations to like the mom or whatever. I'm like, dog, I'm like, do you not see this man doing paperwork? Going over and filling out the, like, what, like, yo, the amount of disrespect that y'all have just for fathers, even when they are present. Y'all could look them dead in the face and still disrespect them. That's some crazy work, dog. That's a lot. And again, this is why you have a lot of dudes out here. It's like, yo, it just ain't worth it. Just doing a lot of stuff no more. It's not worth it. Because you can't even just get like a little bit of something. And I am not sitting up there talking about like some monetary. I'm just like saying like, yo, just like a thank you or something. Like, yo, you're loved. Thank you for being like, just some very, like I said, if women want to talk about the bare minimum, there's a lot of guys out here that don't really have a bar when it deals with women. Like, a lot of women have already been doing the bare minimum for the longest time possible. But you don't really hear dudes out here, in a sense, pointing that out or really complaining about it, in a sense. A lot of women do the bare minimum every single day when it deals with a guy. When you think about women in relationships with guys, they're doing like the bare minimum. You'll hear women always make a whole bunch of complaints about the guy that they're with, but never hear anything positive. But yet they're not going to turn around and sit up there and state what are they doing. They're not going to state the negative effects that they've had during conversations, or how it is, or the tones that they use, or how it is that they specifically, you know, speak to that guy. But they'll make sure to sit up there and say like, well, you know, me and him had an argument and he don't want to sit up there and talk, but he was the one that was wrong. I was there, I was present, I was open, I was this. Nah, it's a lot of women that like to say that they're emotionally supportive in there, but they're not. How can you be emotionally supportive in there when you're not even emotionally supportive there for yourself? So again, again, I'm just circling this directly back to a lot of problems and situations that are present, that are there, that a lot of women don't want to take the initial responsibility, acceptance, and acknowledgement of, but then they levy that and throw it directly onto guys and say that, oh, this is your problem, this is your fault. The reason why I'm not a feminine woman, the reason why I'm not a present woman is because of you, versus it being a self thing, and self needs to work self out and self needs to have a conversation with self, right? Or self needs to seek therapy, right? Like I said, it's all of these conversations are all over the place. I feel like probably at the end I probably jumbled a lot of things together, but again, it still has to deal with a self thing and realization of the effects that you have on a lot of things. And once you have the realization and you're able to see that and identify it, now comes in the hard part, which is actually admitting, which is actually working, which is actually walking, which is actually straightening those things out. But again, a lot of people don't want to put in that much effort, just like a lot of women don't want to put in that much effort when it deals with their mental, right? When it deals with the actual relationships, selective, choices in men, right? When it deals with how it is that they go online and they want to talk about the men or the fathers directly out there, always framing themselves to be the most positive and the greatest of greatest directly out there, and the man always has to be the greatest evil. But I don't know. Probably, went a few different places, but that also stems from other conversations and live streams that, we have had. So, a lot of times things can culminate, points can culminate into, one thing when you're, just talking. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything I stated in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.